Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Trade Decorator Festival. This evening, we have a free webinar for you. It's the 28-day marketing plan for decorators, and I'm going to be joined live by Jon Mears for this free marketing webinar to take your business to the next level. So what's it all about? Well, as a painter and decorator, you take pride in your work and want to offer the very best service possible. To do this, you need to attract customers who truly value your time and don't just want the cheapest option. The problem is that the last thing you want to do at the end of the day is spend hours on marketing to make sure you're getting that steady stream of enquiries. Jon has put together a plan that you can actually implement in just 15 minutes a day over 28 days. After that, the system runs on autopilot, leaving you to do what you do best: painting and decorating. So let's take a look at the seminar, and I'll join you back here following that, and we'll go live with Jon, where you can put your questions to him about this and all things marketing related. If you are watching over on Facebook, welcome to the show. It's not too late for you to join us and be part of our live questions and answers session. There is a link there in Facebook that you can click on, and you can come over and join us. So I hope everybody enjoys the webinar, and I'll see you all soon.
Here we go then. Welcome to the 28-day marketing plan for decorators. Right, what to expect from this webinar then? So the promise is a simple marketing plan that attracts your dream customers, but more than that, it's going to do it all on autopilot for you. In this presentation, I'm going to show you how to set it all up in just 15 minutes a day. Which is perfect for people like you, because when you get home at the end of the day, you're knackered, and the last thing you want to do is spend hours and hours sorting out your marketing and everything like that. So the program is obviously the 28-day marketing plan. I'm splitting it up into 4 weeks, and if you wanted to set it up, you can do this in just 15 minutes each night, and within the month you've got yourself a superb little marketing plan that will last you a very, very long time. The next thing you need to know about it is, once you've done that initial setup, you've spent the 28 days at just 15 minutes a day. Once you've built it, it takes pretty much no maintenance. Basically, it automatically will get your customers for you. And it works in the background. You don't have to keep working on it every single night or even once a week. You can just leave it doing its own thing for months on end if you want, and it will still keep working for you and keep delivering you a consistent stream of new customers and customers that understand what your business is about, understand educated customers that aren't going to be haggling you on price and stuff like that and asking you to do, paint the whole bloody house for 200 quid next Tuesday. These are going to be people that know what they want and how much they should expect to be paying for it. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know in this short little webinar. By the end of it, you'll have all the information you need to go away and set this up and get yourself the fully functioning plan. But I am also going to offer access for one person to the more comprehensive version. I've got an online course for this, which, as I said in this webinar, I split it down into 4 weeks, just to keep it nice and simple and quick. But I've got a more in-depth, more comprehensive version of this that really helps you step by step put the whole thing together. It gives you one small action to do every single day for 28 days. It's 28 individual videos that shows you exactly what to do, and it's got a few other bits and bobs in that. So I will be giving away at the end of this access to that. It's usually £100 for that course, but yeah, one of you will be getting that for free today. Okay, why listen to me then? Why listen to me? Because this plan is tried and tested. I have used it with a couple of decorators a couple of decorating companies I've done some consultancy work for, and had some really good results. But also I use it for what I do, and that's the main thing for me. Is for those of you who don't know, this support for sales and marketing support for decorators is something that I do on the side. I have a full-time job, so all of this stuff, the way that I have to put it together, so that I still have time in my life, is I have to have a marketing system which takes very little maintenance, that I can just leave running in the background, and that's how I know it can work for you as decorators, because in the same way you're doing something all day long, so you need a marketing system that is working automatically for you in the background. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be emailing people and doing this and doing that. You need a way to automatically generate new customers for your business on a consistent basis, and that's what this plan does. That's what it does for me, and it's what it does for the people that have already set up and you're using this program. Now, the basis of this plan is email marketing. Now, let's first of all just dispel a couple of myths. So, the first thing people think of when you say email marketing is it's spam. Email marketing is not spam. Spam is when you like buy an illegal database of email addresses and you just email thousands of people that you don't know. They don't know you. They don't want to hear from you. That's spam. That's not what we're doing here. You're only going to be contacting people who have reached out and said, I want you to email me. Okay. The second thing you need to know about email marketing is the engagement is like no other. So the fact there is an email list will outperform a social media following 20 times the size. So let's say you've got you want to send an offer to two different databases. You've got 1,000 email subscribers and you've got 20,000 social media followers. If you send a message out that says, a gap's just turned up in my diary. Does anyone need some decorating work doing on the third weekend of March or whatever? And you send that offer to 1,000 people who are on your email list, and you send the same offer to all of your social media followers, and we'll say you've got 20,000 social media followers, you will get just as much work from the email list of 1,000 people as you would from the 20,000 social media followers. And this is because people trust email much more. When it comes to actually spending money, people do it via email far more than when they see an offer on social media. The next thing that people often talk about is email's dead and that social media is the future and already is, and you need to be doing video content and this and blah, 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 blah. And we're going to use all of these different marketing tools, but email is not dead. It's still massive. It's still getting bigger. And the main thing you need to know is more people have email addresses than have Facebook accounts. So you think Facebook's massive, more people have got email addresses. So in terms of being able to target and find the most amount of people, email is the way to do that. And the ROI, the return on investment, is crazy with email marketing. So we talk about when you're spending money on different things marketing wise. If I set up a Facebook ad and say I want to sell a book, if I spend $2 on Facebook ads, and I'm sending out this offer of a book, and I'm spending all this money. So make it a bit easier. I'm selling a book, and I spend $100 on Facebook ads. I can expect to sell about $190 worth of books. Okay, so that's good. That's not bad. You know, it's nearly for every dollar I spend. I'm almost doubling it. But email marketing, for every dollar you spend, you get $42 back. So instead of, I mean, what's the math? So, you know, with like a Facebook ad or typical digital marketing, you spend $1, you get $1.90 back. With email marketing, you spend $1, you get $42 back. So in terms of, as I said, people reaching into their wallets and actually making buying decisions, they're far more likely to do that in response to an email than they are in response to seeing a ad on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever it is. Okay. Now, before I go into all the setting up and everything like that, we go through each week and I'll show you how to do it. I'm going to give you, just to make it nice and clear, I think the easiest way for me to explain what email marketing is and how it can work for you is I'll talk about how I use it for what I do, and you'll be able to see how it all then works. So basically, it's all about taking people through a buying process, a buying journey, but doing it on autopilot. So if you know me, then you've probably seen some of my blogs. So what I do, this is how I start to attract potential new customers. And these are potential new customers that I want to sell books to, maybe do some consultancy work for, you know, a couple of different little other products that I've got. But it all starts with something simple like a blog. And I will write a blog about a certain aspect of marketing. And I'll post it on social media and stuff like that. People click on it because they're interested in learning a little bit about whatever it is I'm writing about that day. They'll click on it, they'll read it. And at the bottom of that blog, it says, hey, do you want to sign up to my email list? And if they're interested, then they sign up to that email list. And I give them a little incentive as well. It's what's called a lead magnet. And if they sign up, then they get a free piece of information. And with me, it's a little ebook about marketing. So they've seen my social media post, they've read my little article about marketing for decorators, and then I've said, hey, do you want a bit more? Here's a free ebook. Give me your email address and I'll send it to you. And that's how people, and you know, some of the people watching this might already be on my email list, and you'll have started going through this process, and this is how it all works. So they read that, they join up to my email subscriber list, and then they get an automatic email. I'm not doing anything at this point. They get an automatic email with the ebook that I promised. But then a week later, they get another automatic email. Again, I could be asleep, at work, doing whatever. It all happens automatically. And obviously, you scale this up by hundreds of people joining your email list. You've got this amazing little autopilot system firing out emails for you all the time, while you as a decorator, you're rubbing down a wall or doing whatever you're doing. This is all happening in the background for you. So the next step on mine is a week later, they'll get another email going, you know, hope you enjoyed the ebook. Here's something else you might find that's interesting. And then a week later, they'll get another email, and a week later, another email. And over this time, I'm starting to build a relationship with them. But I'm building that relationship on autopilot. I'm not actually, you know, I'm doing my day job. But I'm keep giving them little bits of useful information. And it might be things like, I'll go, you know, if you're interested in sales and marketing, then you're probably interested in learning how to price work by meter and stuff like that. So why don't you check out Pete Wilkinson's book, and I'll put a link to that, which is an amazing book. And if you haven't read it, you should definitely read it. Or here's a little spreadsheet that my friend Trevor put together. This is what he uses to price up his decorating work. You're probably interested in that as well. And then after a few weeks, if they're still subscribed to my email list, then at that point I know, you know, these people are almost certainly interested in what I'm saying, because they've stayed subscribed for 5 or 6 weeks, and I've sent them all this little bit of free information. And I'll go, oh, did you know I've got a book? It's called Sales and Marketing for Decorators. Here's a link if you want to buy it. And at that point, they already know me, they trust me, they understand what I say. Clearly, they think the information I give out is valuable because they've been reading all of it and they've not unsubscribed. And then they click on, they buy the book, and then a few weeks later they'll get another email, and this whole email sequence goes on for like 6-8 months, and it goes through, and it'll then offer my second book, and then it'll offer my third book, and it'll offer consultancy services and stuff like that. And so all of this happens without me having to do everything. What I get is a steady stream of book sales and a steady stream of people coming to me going, hey, can you help me with this marketing project and stuff like that. And the only work I'm doing is writing the occasional blog and posting it on social media. And even if I don't do that, there's still loads of people going through that email marketing sequence. And like I said, if you've joined my email list, you'll have been through that. You might still be going through that sequence as you're watching this, and you'll have seen it with loads of other companies that you'll have signed up with. And usually it will be, you bought something from, let's say you bought something from John Lewis, and then you'll get an email saying, right, it's on its way. And then a few days later, you'll get an email saying, what did you think about the service and stuff? Do you want to leave us a review? And then a few weeks later, you'll get another email saying, you bought this, so you might like this. And then after that, you'll go another email that says, it's Christmas is coming up. Do you want to have a look at these offers? And that's how it goes, and that's how the relationships are built. And it all happens in the background, which is, as a decorator, someone who's working all day long, that's what you need, is a system that works for you, and you don't have to constantly maintain it. Anyway, I digress. Week 1 for setting up this whole process so that you can have email marketing working for you. And let me just say at this point, sorry, some of you might be booked up for the next 6-12 months, stacked out, and think, I don't really need this. I don't need more work. Well, it doesn't always have to. You don't have to make an offer at the end of it and say, come on, when am I going to do some decorating work for you? What you can do is just use it to build relationships with people. And then let's say you've built up a list of 1,000 people, and then all of a sudden one of your customers cancels, and you've got a 2-week gap in your diary and not very long to fill it. Well, instead of having to instead of having to put something on social media, where, as we said earlier, the response rate isn't amazing, you could have 20,000 followers and you might not get much back. You've got 1,000 email subscribers. One quick email, you go, I've got 2 weeks free here, does anyone need some decorating work on? You've got all these people who know all about you, all about your services. They're all warmed up, educated, perfect customers for you. You send out an email to them, 5 minutes later, you've got a load of work and you've got that gap filled. So you can also think of it as a safety net for you, so that if anything ever happens, you've got this list of primed and ready customers that you can call upon anytime you need to. So, right, week 1, setting up. What you're going to need to put this whole plan into motion. First thing you're going to need is an email service provider. You can't be emailing 1,000 people from your Dave at davedecorators.com or Steve at Gmail, stevethedecorator@gmail.com. You need a proper email service provider. I use MailChimp. They've never really put a foot wrong. If you just Google search email service providers, loads will come up. There'll be Drip or MailerLite and things like that. Essentially, you need an email service provider where you can send mass emails that don't end up in spam filters, and also that will do everything you need in terms of setting up those automatic emails. You can't do that via Gmail or Outlook or anything. You need a proper email service provider for that. So yeah, my recommendation would be MailChimp. I use those. It's about £15 a month. So it's very, very simple to use and pretty damn cheap. The next thing you need to do is you need to build a website. Now, hopefully you've already got a website, even if you've not touched it in a few years. It'd be great if you've already got a website. Otherwise, you will need one, because you're going to need to build a landing page. It's somewhere where you can direct people from all your social media work and all the other bits and bobs that we're going to talk about. You need to send them to your website, and this is the other thing that the other reason we need an email service provider like MailChimp is you can link the two together. So on your website, you'll be able to put in those little boxes that say, hey, do you want to sign up to my newsletter? Do you want to get this free piece of content, the lead magnet? As I said, for me, it's that free ebook. So you need to link the two so that people can, whatever time of day it is, they can put their email address into that little box on your website, and it links up, pings straight to your email service provider. Let's say it's MailChimp, and MailChimp go, oh, they've got a new subscriber. Let's add them to the email list and keep that safe and secure and GDPR compliant. And let's also put them straight onto this automated email sequence, this automated journey where they're going to get an email every week or so. But first things first, send them that lead magnet, which we will talk about. So that's your setting up. That is week one. They're the first two things you need to do. Get yourself an email service provider, build yourself a website so that you can link the two together and start getting people onto your email list. Week two, this is where we need to start talking about your market and understanding the different stages that everyone in your potential market is at. So every market, no matter what business you're in, can be broadly split into four key categories of what is typically known as the buyer journey, the buyer process. Let me show you how it works. So we put it into this upside down pyramid. There's four stages. And right at the top, the majority of people are unaware of the problem. So this is the buyer journey, or the stages of awareness is the other thing that's often called. Now, as an example, let's say we are talking about exterior windows, painting exterior windows. So 60%, if you say that your whole market as a painter and decorator who paints exterior windows, your whole market is anyone that's got windows, basically. But 60% of those people don't know that they have a problem. And that problem could be that if they don't maintain their windows properly by hiring a painter and decorator to properly keep them in good shape, if the problem is if they don't do that, then they're going to have some very expensive repairs, replacement work further down the line. 60% of your market just don't understand that. So you need to think about, how do you talk to those people? And you can't talk to those people by going, do you want your windows painted? Book me in now. I'm a painter and decorator. Buy now. They don't even know it's a problem, so they're not going to understand that. If you want to talk to these people, then we need to create a piece of content, a blog, or a PDF or something like that. And for this situation, I would say, let's say you put together a piece of content, an article, and it's how to check if your windows need repainting, or how to check if your windows have hidden damage, something along those lines. And you could put a quick article together and go, right, look at your timber window frames. Are there any flaking paint? Are there any soft areas? Because that might be a sign that there's rot inside. Is there any mold or discoloration or anything like that? You put together these things, and at that point, anyone in your target market, anyone who's got windows, could go, oh yeah, that's some useful information. I'll have a look at the windows and check that out. Once they've got that first piece of education, you've made them aware of the problem. Move to the next stage, which is aware and open to solutions. So at this stage, you've told them, here's how to check for the problem. Now you know you've got a problem. Let's talk about solutions to fix that. And they're open to solutions. So your content would now be, yeah, I mean, what potential solutions are, you could hire someone like me as a decorator, and I'll come around and I'll do this, and I'll dig out the rot, and I'll fix this, and I'll repaint it, and I'll use the correct systems and stuff like that. And that's how you talk to them at that stage. And now start thinking of it as you're building your email sequence. I've got my automatic email sequence that I talked about, where it's a free piece of content. It talks to them about this and then that and then that, and then eventually I'm offering them the book and things like that. So yours would be a bit of content saying, hey, here's some quick and easy techniques to check if your windows need looking at. Then your next piece of content would be to move them from aware and open solutions, and then you create another email that puts them into what we call the consideration stage. The consideration stage is, at this point, they know they've got a problem, they're open to the solutions, but they're looking at all solutions. And remember, if it's exterior windows, a painter and decorator is one option, doing it themselves is another option, replacing them is a different option, replacing them with like new PVC or something is again another option. So at this point, you need to be showing them why your service is the best, and why Painter and Decorator is the way to go with it. It might be the cheapest, the most sustainable solution. You know, you pick your key selling points there. And then the final stage is the decision stage, which is it's only 3% of your potential market. But you know, if you think about it, look at pretty much all advertising out there. Everybody fights for that last 3%. So 3% of people that, in this case, 3% of people that own Windows are actively looking for a decorator and ready to make a decision. And every decorator in the whole world is fighting over these 3%. They're going, do you want a free quote? And the only people that want a free quote are people that are ready to make a decision. So this is the beauty of the email marketing system, is you're not picking up customers right as they're ready to make a decision. You're picking them up at a much higher stage. You're picking them up when they're unaware of the problem, or they're aware of it, or the considerations. So either way, you're picking them up at a different stage in the journey. And thinking that the important thing is, when you're the person who has given them all that lovely free content, that you've educated them about the problem, you've shown them the different solutions for it, you've educated them on how it's all done, and why certain ways are better than others. Once you've done all of that, you've built an amazing relationship. So by the time they get to that decision phase, there's only one person they're going to pick, and it's going to be you, because you're that amazing decorator that's given them so much useful information. So, how do we effectively do this? As I said, a lead magnet is the first way to hook people in. So for me, my lead magnet is I give away a free ebook. For you, it could be a PDF sheet going, how to check if your windows need some attention, or how to save thousands of pounds by maintaining your windows instead of replacing them. It could be 7 signs that your timber windows might have underlying damage, or something like a free quick piece of content that you can give away as like a 1-page PDF or something like that. And all you ask in return for it is that they sign up to your email list. So you literally, you just say, give me your email address and I will email you this free piece of content that's going to help you out and give you the information you need. That's what a lead magnet is. And you create your own one that you think is going to be useful to the customers that you're interested in dealing with. And then you need to create a landing page. You need to make sure that landing page is effective. So we're going to talk to the audience in a number of ways. As I said earlier, I use blogs, and those I write a blog, and then I go, I'll put a snippet of it on social media. I'll say, if you want to read this blog, or you want this free piece of content, you want my free ebook, then click on this, and it will direct them to my website. They'll land on my website, and then they'll get either the blog, or they'll just go straight to this landing page. The landing page says, oh yeah, if you want this free ebook all about marketing for decorators, just pop your email in here, and I'll email it to you. So That's why you need your website, and you need somewhere to send these people so that they can go on, see who you are, and then go, there's the box, put my email address in, and then it automatically links up to your MailChimp or your email service provider, and they get that piece of content that they want and that you've promised. Okay, so week 3 is all about talking to your audience. So we talked about this automated sequence. So in week 3, what you need to do is you need to create that automated sequence. You need to nurture, educate your customers, and build it so that it all happens in the background on autopilot. And this can be, it can be anything from 2 or 3 emails to, I think my email sequence is up to about 15 emails now, spread out over 4 or 5 months or so. But remember, your email sequence obviously starts with the piece of information that hooked them, and then just gives them little bits of more snippets and little bits more information that takes them through that buyer journey, from unaware of the problem to aware of the problem to considering, and then obviously the decision. And as I said earlier, if you're booked up and you don't need to be constantly getting new people through, you can leave that decision phase out of the email sequence, and just have it so that you're just building a nice relationship with hundreds, if not thousands of customers, so that if there ever is a gap in your diary, then you can just quickly send out a standalone email as and when you need it. And talking of standalone emails, they are known as broadcast emails, and they are emails that you'll send. They're not part of that automated sequence, and you might send them out. So I will send them out. Say I release a new book, then I will send an email to the full email list, just a one-off, just saying, hey, here's this new book I've got. You're on my email list. You've been reading my content, so I think this is going to be something that's of interest to you. Check it out. Here's the link. Blah 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 blah. And that's the sort of thing that you might send out an email like this. As I said, when if you get a gap in your diary and you want to fill it, or it might just be that you've just found a really cool piece of information that you think would be useful. It might be you go, oh, here's a link to an article about the new color trends for 2022 or something like that. Anything like that you can send out as a broadcast email, and that just maintains the relationship with your customers after they've already been through your automated sequence. Week 4 is all about growing your audience, and this is one of the best bits about the whole plan, and having an email marketing system and having a lead magnet, which is a free piece of information, a free PDF, ebook, whatever it is you decide to put together as your lead magnet, is you never have to sell your services again. I never have to sell my book. I never have to sell my marketing consultancy services or anything like that. All I talk to people about is, if you want to learn more, if I can help you, then great. Here's the first thing. Why don't you just check out my free ebook? And for you, you'd be like, you don't have to, on all your social media posts. So say you've just painted some exterior windows, and you put a post up and you do the before and after, and talk about the process and stuff like that. At the end of the post, you don't have to go, book now if you want me to come and do your windows. You can go, oh, by the way, here's some work that I did. If you want to know if your windows need some attention, here's a PDF that you can download that will show you the telltale signs of whether your windows are damaged and whether they need some attention, whether they need some maintenance. And it makes things so much easier when you're not asking anyone for money anymore. You're just saying, here, do you want this free stuff? It's like you're never selling again. It makes it so much easier, and it's just that all of a sudden nothing's salesy anymore. So what are we going to do then to start talking to your audience and start growing that audience? Well, the first thing you need to do is use your existing social media contacts. So you might have a load of friends on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever social media you're on. once you've got everything set up, you've got your email service provider linked to your website, you've got your lead magnet ready, you've got the automatic sequence sorted, you go on social media and you put a post up and you go, hey, I've created this cool PDF that's got some really useful information for you. I'd love it if anyone that's interested in this sort of thing, click the link here and you can get it for free. And then your friends and their contacts and stuff will all click on there, and some of them will put their email address in, get the free information, and bang, they're on your email list and they're starting to go through that journey, that automated sequence that you've set up. The next thing you can do, and my favorite things, the most effective ways I've found for building your email list, is use Facebook groups and Facebook ads. Facebook's ads obviously cost money, but they are hugely effective. So if you really want to scale things fast, you can use Facebook ads. And again, it takes on a whole new dynamic that your advert is not, hey, book me now for some decorating work. Your advert is, do you want some free information? Which is so much more engaging. People are so much more likely to click on that advert and learn a bit more about you. But Facebook groups, now Facebook groups are notoriously difficult for tradespeople and painters and decorators, because often with like local Facebook groups, so your town, your village, whatever, they'll usually have some sort of Facebook group with probably a couple of thousand people in. I know there are several in my area. But you can't go in there and go, hi, I'm a decorator. If you want a free quote, get in touch, because they don't approve the post or they boot you out for advertising and stuff. But if you go in and go, I've put this cool little article together that helps you see whether your windows need replacing or maintaining, or maybe your article's just like 100 color combinations for your front room or something, or the top 10 colors for 2022, whatever your lead magnet is that you've created. You post that into one of the forums, and from the experience I've got from the decorators we've worked with, not only do they get approved and they're allowed in all of these local groups, but people start thanking you, going, thank you so much for putting this together, this is really useful. So it opens up this whole new area and this whole new clientele for you, because it's like you're advertising, but you're not advertising. Which is just the best bit about it, is you can start putting essentially what are adverts for your business into Facebook groups, which typically you can't do. Blogs and vlogs. Blogs are the written blogs that I do a lot, and vlogs are video versions if you prefer recording video than writing. Work really well. They are such a consistent way to do things. And think about it, you as a decorator have so much knowledge that a typical homeowner doesn't have. This is your area of expertise. And so for me, my area is sales and marketing. So I'll write, little short blogs about marketing. And as I say, that's the typical way I get people onto my email sequence and onto my automated sequences. I'll write a short blog about marketing. I'll put it on social media and say, hey, do you want to read this? And at the end of that, it says, if you enjoyed that, do you want to sign up and get some more free content like this? Join my email address, join my email list. And this is something that you can do exactly the same. Just share a little bit of your knowledge, and then at the bottom go, if you want more tips like this, jump onto my email subscriber list. Local influencers. It's a good one. I mean, some businesses it works better than others, but you might find there are people in your local town or whatever. It might be the local estate agent. You might have a local interior store or something like that, and these people have got a few thousand followers on Instagram or whatever, and you just reach out to them and say, I've put together this cool piece of information about color trends for the new year. I think it'd be the sort of thing that you as an interior shop, your followers would probably like that. Would you mind sharing it on your channel? And in return, I can share something about your business. And you'll be surprised how many people are quite receptive to that, because let's face it, thinking of stuff to put on social media, is a challenge to keep thinking of stuff to put on there. So, um, you know, approaching someone saying, "Hey, I've got this really cool piece of content that you can put on your social media." A lot of people are straight up for it. So, you know, have a little think about local people, local businesses that you can collaborate with to reach a bigger audience and start growing your email list even more. And then printed materials is the last one to consider. Email lists is it's a great way to bring those old school printed stuff into the current century. And QR codes for me is the way to do that. Since COVID and everything like that, everybody knows how to use a QR code. I put them, you know, on magazine ads and stuff like that with in my day job, and scan the QR code, and it takes you to the free lead magnet. Put your email address, and away you go. And you could put a QR code on your leaflets, your business cards, magazines, as I say, on the side of your van if you want to. And they're great, and they're free to set up, and it means that you can capture those people that usually you wouldn't. You think about, say you put a QR code on the side of your van, most people look at your side of the van, they'll go, oh yeah, I must contact that decorator or whatever. Scan the QR code, and they'll actually, when they go onto your email list, and they'll never forget. Whereas most people will walk past, they might take a photo or something, and then by the time they get home, they've completely forgotten. So a good, you know, I'm not saying you need to immediately go out and put QR codes on everything you do, but as and when you're updating your leaflets and stuff, business cards, if you do that sort of thing, then just think it's another way that you can start building your email list. Right then, quick summary. You have now opened up your potential market. So we've gone from that 3% of people that are in the decision phase, about 3% that everybody battles over. You're no longer having to battle with all of those people. You've opened up to the whole market. So you are now talking, you have a system of engaging with people who are at every single stage of the buying process. So you've increased your market massively by creating content that speaks to people at the different stages, because not everybody, in fact, only about 3% of people are actually ready to make a decision and hire a decorator, which is why typically when you put an advert out, you don't get much response, because not many people are ready to have a decorator right now or within the next few weeks or so. You brought everything into focus. So one of the great things about building an email subscriber list is it gives you great feedback on what's working and what's not. So let's say you put a post out and you go, keep talking about windows, but you've painted some exterior windows, you've got the before and after shots, and you put, hey, do you want this free guide to see if you should be maintaining your windows, and if you can, to tell if your windows are damaged and need some attention. And if you put that post out and 5 people subscribe to your email list, then you know you're doing a good job there. And if you write a blog and stuff and a few people join your email list, then it's a lovely way to just keep seeing that number just growing, that number of email subscribers growing. It gives you a lot of focus on your marketing, and gives you some almost real-time feedback on what's working well and what's not working quite so well. And of course, it means you don't have to be salesy at all, because all you're ever trying to do is give people some free information that's useful to them. And you've automated your relationships. And as I said, for me, that's probably the most important thing, is that even when you're asleep, you know, you're at work, you're doing whatever, you're in bed, you're asleep, this system works constantly in the background. It works for you. It's not constant stress. You don't have to do anything for it. You set it up, and that's it. On it goes. There are people constantly joining my email list. You know, there might at any one time there might be a few hundred people going through my email sequence, and that gives me a steady sale, a steady stream of customers, you know, buying the books or doing this or doing that, or reading these new little articles and stuff. And it can be exactly the same for you. Okay, and yeah, this is a trade decorator special offer for the Trade Decorator online festival that we're doing. So the 28-day marketing plan for decorators. I said there's an online course for it, which is a much more comprehensive version of what I've gone through today, and it breaks everything down into daily tasks for you. So one of the viewers here is going to win access to this. So what you get with that is 28 on-demand videos. So like I said, it takes you through step by step. They're all about 15 minutes, the videos, and at the end you'll get a simple little action, and you just follow it day. Every time you get 15 minutes, do a video, and away you go, and you can start building this. You get the ultimate guide to your next painting and decorating project. It's a ready-made lead magnet. I've done it for you. So we talked about lead magnets that you need to draw people in. So I've created one. I've called it. It's 27 pages. It's got color trends and all sorts of different bits and bobs that are useful for a typical decorating customer. I've called it the ultimate guide to your next painting and decorating projects, and it's the sort of thing that you can then obviously blast out on your social media and say, hey, do you want this free guide? Sign up to my, put your email address in here, and I'll send it to you. So that is done for you. If you win, you'll get the access to the course, which has that included. It's also got the email sequence included. So I've written an email sequence of 6 emails, which takes the people through the buyer process for you. That's included in the course. You've got your first 30 days of social media posts all done for you. Different ways of talking about everything that's in the guide, and 30 different posts that you can literally just copy and paste onto your own social media, and it will start attracting people and putting them into your email list. And you've got some templates as well, tried and tested. The landing page template, which we said about, obviously we're directing all the people from social media to your website, and then they come onto this landing page, which is just a web page that's at the bottom says, put your email address in here, and I'll send you the free 27-page lead magnet guide, the free 27-page decorating guide, and 6 Facebook ad templates. So that's the imagery and the copy of the text to put in there as well. So one of you guys will win it. I'm assuming Paula's going to do this. This is a pre-record, so good luck to everybody. If you don't win it, this course is available. It's usually £100. You can buy that if you want. If you want a bit more on that, or if you don't want to spend £100 on the course, you can also look at the book. So the book is available on Amazon, and let's also give away 5 copies of that as well. So if you want a copy of the book instead, this is yeah, good. Paula, work out how we're going to give away all this stuff. So we'll give away some books as well. Let's make sure this helps everybody that's come onto this video. Okay, good luck. That was a good slide, wasn't it? And thank you very much. Yeah, that's better. Okay, yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope this has been useful for you, and yeah, I'd love to hear from anyone who goes through and sets this up, and get in touch if you have any issues. Of course, always here to help. Yeah, and good luck for the competition. Cheers. Bye.
Hi everyone, welcome back. That was a fantastic seminar there from Jon Mears. I'm sure it's got you thinking about how you're going to start putting together your 28-day marketing plan. I'm sure that you've also got questions for Jon. I notice we've got a question already in this session from Ryan. Ryan, can I ask you to retype that when we go through to the Q&A session, as that won't be in that session. We have to leave this recorded session. What I'd like you to do now is take a look beneath me. You'll see a green button that says Join Q&A. If you could click on there, myself and Jon will do a quick mic check, and then Jon will actually join me live for the next part of the session, where we'll take all your questions in that Q&A session. So if you click on the button now and give us a couple of minutes, and we will join you live. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live Q&A with Jon Mears. Thank you for joining us. Jon, welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you very much.
That was such an informative webinar. Even I learned things, and I've been in marketing for 20 years. There's always something new that you can learn. And I think when you're doing something like this that's tailored so specifically for decorators that they couldn't find anything better to help direct them with their business. It's not like looking at a marketing for, I don't know, say for retail and trying to fix that into what they need. This is actually something you've designed that is specifically for decorators.
Yeah, that's the idea is, like yourself, I've been doing marketing for a long time, and there is so much still to learn. I mean, I read a book a week about sales and marketing and stuff like that, and I'm constantly learning. But yeah, the idea behind this and pretty much everything I do is taking these core marketing concepts and just putting it in the decorating world and just trying to find real world applications, the stuff that will work best specifically for decorators.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. As I say, thank you for joining this session. If you do want to comment as you go along, you can see the comments bar there. It would be nice to hear from you, your comments on things that you'd like to talk about or things that you liked about the webinar. If you do have a specific question for Jon, then you can see there's an Ask a Question tab. If you hit that, type in your question, and you can either give us a wave and come up and talk to Jon yourself, or I can read that out for you. So, Jon, if we're not very tech savvy, if there's people watching that say, you know, I'm not really that tech savvy, is this something that they can still use, this plan?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a few components. You need to be able to use social media, which most people can. You need a website, and you need to be able to set up the email service provider. All of these things, obviously, in today's world, they're built to be as user-friendly as possible. And I think most people that I've gone through this with, business owners, painters, decorators, anyone who's a business owner, have very good brains in terms of they'll figure it out. They can figure things out. It's all figure outable. But there are other things you can do. I mean, the email service provider you can do that in 5-10 minutes. If you struggle with the website, you can always get a web designer to help you with it. And you can get a very basic and easy to edit website put up for less than 500 quid nowadays. Even if you do it yourself, it's not much cheaper than that. But for most people who have already got a website, perhaps they haven't touched it in a couple of years or so, it shouldn't take too long to just refresh yourself and just build a simple little web page, because it doesn't have to be that much. It's just a simple web page where you can direct people and just say, look, go to this link. They land on that page on your website, put their email address in, and away they go. So yeah, it's, even if you're really not that tech savvy, you can get through this.
Fantastic. And I hear decorators say, well, I'm booked up a couple of months in advance. For those people, is it still worthwhile? Is it something for them?
Yeah. It's I get this quite a lot with like all the marketing tips and stuff that I give out. Is lots of decorators are booked up for a long time, and yeah, with something like this, it's all about building that list, and you can almost treat it as like a backstop, because you never know when someone's going to cancel in like 2 weeks or something like that, or they get COVID and you can't do that job, or something can always come up. And it's nice to have, if you've just got in the background, you've got that list of say 1,000 potential customers that you can just email and know that you're very likely to be able to get some work out of that if you need it. It gives you that real peace of mind that if you need a cash injection or an injection of work quite quickly, it's always there. And you might never have to use it. And that could be a great thing to never have to use it. It's like but it's an insurance policy, isn't it? And so if you want that extra peace of mind, then it's great to have that there.
Fantastic. And you touched on Facebook ads in the webinar. Do you have to spend a lot of money on Facebook ads to make this plan work?
Yeah, so you don't have to spend any money on Facebook ads to make it work. You can do it all for free with just organic posts and using the Facebook groups and things like that, and other social media. But if you want to scale it and scale it quite quickly, then Facebook ads in general is what probably, you know, the best advertising for your money at the moment. I believe that LinkedIn maybe, and obviously Instagram. But even if you do go down the route of spending Facebook ads, I think it's like a common misconception. People think you need to spend 50, 100, you know, hundreds of pounds to make campaigns work on Facebook. And you can start it from £2 a day. I regularly run campaigns at £2 a day and see, you know, great results. And you don't have to spend much. You don't have to spend anything. But even if you do start using Facebook ads, then you don't have to spend too much at all.
Okay. And I mean, people worry about GDPR. Are there implications with regards to GDPR when you're holding customers' details for emails in this way?
Yeah, so that is obviously you're collecting a lot of email addresses and you're holding them, but that's the beauty of having a proper email service provider like MailChimp or Drip or MailerLite, whoever you use. They take care of all the compliance for you, so they hold all of the customer information, so they have to keep that secure and GDPR compliant, and you're absolutely fine there, so you don't have to worry about that at all.
Okay. And does this marketing, like if I was to put this plan in place, should I stop doing everything else I'm doing? Does it replace my other marketing work? What's your opinion on that?
No, not at all. It's something that, if anything, you can use it to give your other marketing work that point of focus. A lot of times people, especially when you're busy doing your day job, is your marketing can be quite sporadic, and you'll go off on one tangent and then another, and then you'll think this is a great idea. With this, all the marketing work you're doing, you can point it all at building this email list. So yeah, keep doing exactly what you're doing and just use it as a focus point.
Okay, fantastic. If any of you do have any questions for Jon, if you'd like to type those in, because we're going to be finishing the session quite soon. We are also going to be launching a competition to win access to the paid version of Jon's 28-day marketing plan for decorators, which was the course that he mentioned in the webinar. If you'd like to enter that competition, when we finish, there's a green button beneath us on the screen that says Enter Competition. If you click on there, it will take you through to our website, and there's a page for you to fill in your details there, which is all GDPR compliant. So, yep, good luck with the competition. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have got more sessions for you tomorrow. If you want to check out our lineup, you can do so on our website, trade-decorator.co.uk, and have a look at the Trade Decorator Festival itinerary for tomorrow. And obviously for all of next week as well. We're back next week with another week of sessions. If you have missed anything this week and you like to catch up, everything is available to watch on Catch Up. You just need to click on the link that's there and enter exactly the same way as you did for this session. So Mark Smith says, thanks, Jon. Thanks, Paula. Have a good evening. You too, Mark. Thanks for taking part. And Brian, hi. Nice to see you again in the session. He says, thanks, Jon. Thanks, Paula. Thanks, Jon. You've been a fantastic guest, and I really love the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Speak soon.
Speak to you soon. Have a good evening.
Cheers.